friends, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator and another video. It's been 2 weeks since I published my last one, and in the meantime I was trying to record with the Phoenix A320 after the Block 2 update. However, I had so many CTDs, and when I don't have CTDs, the frame rates go down the drain like crazy, and I was getting 5-10 frames during takeoff, and it didn't work. In my opinion, with every update, the sim is becoming more demanding, and I used to get ultra settings with a 3070 Ti, and I was getting around 30-35 frames per second. But now, after the last update, I had to cut down my graphics settings to high end, and I am getting around 40 frames per second at high end settings. And with Phoenix, it's dropping down to 25, 27, and during takeoff, it wasn't worth it. So I tried, but couldn't do it. If it's similar for you, let me know in the comments what your experience looks like, or if you agree that the sim is becoming more demanding with every update. Anyway, instead, we are going to take a look at the ATR, and we are going to do a short flight from London City Airport in UK to Brussels in Belgium. It's currently rainy, the weather is not great in London, but we'll see if it's getting any better when we arrive to our destination. Anyway, we are going to start loading the aircraft here in a little bit momentarily, jump into the cockpit, open our doors, and I'm gonna use GSX, but I'm not gonna make you guys watch every single step in the process, so I might cut the video and bring you guys back here and there just to keep with the length of the video. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit and let's get the aircraft started. Here we are in the cockpit of the ATR 72-600. We are going to start with taking a look at our flight plan, getting the Simbrief flight plan imported to our EFB. We will set the fuel and the payload. I'm not sure with ATR, when I press set fuel and set payload, nothing seems to happen, but we'll test that. So according to this, we should have 19,406 kilograms of zero fuel weight and 21,105 kilograms of gross weight for our departure. Anyway, we are not gonna use GPU. We will use the hotel mode to power the aircraft after turning on the batteries, and we will be on our way. Alright, first things first, let's check everything is in correct positions. Wipers are turned off. All the lights are off, all the switches are off. Engine starter selector is in off mode. Gear is down, flaps are retracted, parking brake is set, and the gust lock is on. I think those are the preliminary checks that we need to do. Throttles are also at idle, and the condition levers are at the cutoff position. So all good. It's safe to introduce power to the aircraft. We'll open the guard, turn the battery to on, and this should power some of the DC systems of the aircraft. While we are here, we'll turn the nav light to on. We'll turn, let's just go from left to right, top to bottom. Landing gear 3 green. Fuel pressure is low because our pumps are off, but we will turn the right pump off because we will be using engine 2 in the hotel mode to power the aircraft. Nothing here. Standby compass light. It's kind of dark, we can turn it on. This can stay off. Wipers will remain off at this point. Electric power, nothing to do here. Batteries are on. Battery selector is at main battery. Shed power is on. Engine start is off. Prop brake, we will do this here in a little bit. Nothing to do over here. We'll turn the windshield heat on. It will clear the fault when we have AC power. Anti-ice, we'll worry about that during takeoff. We'll arm the emergency exit lights. Cockpit voice recorder, you can test if you like. Engine fire tests, we will perform here in a little bit. Main oxygen supply is on. And the air conditioning system will remain like that. We'll put the annunciation lights to bright. And we'll continue with the left engine fire tests and left engine fault test, as well as the squid test. Same for the right engine, fire test, fault test, and the squid test. All tests passed. Now we can power the aircraft using the hotel mode. One thing to note, the prop brake is not ready. We don't have enough hydraulic power in the aircraft. And the reason is, well, we are cold and dark and just started the aircraft, so we need to use the auxiliary pump, electrical pump, to pressurize the hydraulic system. Couple clicks, 3 is usually enough, and we should see the prop brake ready message in our overhead. We'll put the prop brake to on. We'll put the engine starter switch to start A and B, and we can start engine 1 or right engine. It's gonna spool up. You are seeing it here on our co-pilot display, passing 12%. We'll put the condition lever to low idle, and that should provide us with AC power. The screens should come to life. There we go. Beautiful. Let me just get rid of that. There are some lights here that we can turn on. It's kind of dark. We can do the same thing over here on the co-pilot side and help our co-pilot to get some lighting over there as well. Alright, looks like we have the AC power. Yep, we do have the AC power. However, wild bus and the AC bus will show fault because the engine is rotating at a low RPM and it's not generating enough power to power these systems, but it's generating enough power to do what we need to do to get her started and load our flight plan and program our FMC, that kind of thing. So let's try this again. First, let's take a look at one thing. We should see the onboard fuel. So we have 1600 kilograms of fuel. According to our flight plan, that's what we need. So it looks like fuel is set. Let's set the payload and let's take a look. If we can see the payload, obviously for that we need to switch to the appropriate system page. So systems, I can't remember which one was it. Maybe this is a better view to fiddle with that so that we can see the button and the screens together. Not that. I am trying to remember which page was giving us. There we go. Okay, so now we have some information to look at. Fuel on board 1660, gross weight 21361. That's on par with our flight plan, so which means we can go down and start programming our FMC. We can do it in multiple ways. We can do it through here, or we have an option to set the flight plan using the EFB. This is the easier way, but it takes a little bit. Sim freezes while it's doing it, but voila, we have the flight plan, which is great. All we need to do right now is to select our departure and arrival, and then we will be on our way. Unfortunately, we don't have any Navigraph integration, so we need to rely on our Navigraph app that's running on my other screen. And we are going to select our departure. According to our flight plan routing, we will be departing from runway 09 via the SOQA 1 hotel departure. Let's see here. We are departing from runway 09. SOQA 1 hotel is our departure. We'll execute this. That should enter all the waypoints in our flight plan. Beautiful. And our arrival, we are not using the ATC, so we are going to use the arrival given by our flight plan. We will be arriving to Brussels via the Coq 8 Alpha arrival to runway 25 left. So we can do an ILS to 25 left. We will do am I looking to the correct thing? Yes. Wait a minute, I think I just made a mistake on the Navigraph screen over there. Okay, we will do an ILS Zulu to 25 left via the Coq 8 Alpha and Kirky transition. Execute this, and this should not have any discontinuity. There is one over there. We can clear this very easily. Hit the clear button and select the line. And that looks great. So that's our flight plan entered into our FMC. I want to look at our performance data. For the takeoff performance, 104, 104, 110. Required runway length is 2,055 feet. And according to the charts, let me see the runway length here. We have enough. We have enough runway to depart. 4,900 feet, so that's more than enough. 104, 104, and 110. Let's keep these in mind and try to remember. We will say runway is wet though, because it's definitely wet, right? It's raining outside, so go to the performance page here. Transition altitude, according to our departure chart, 6,000 feet. So let's plug that in. 6,000. We are going to, oh, hold on. Here is what we need to do. We need to confirm the takeoff data. And let's see, 104. It's saying manual speeds. I'm doing something wrong here because it's been a while since I flew with the, let's do the performance initialization. Okay, we are cruising at, where's my flight plan? At flight level 190, so let's plug that in. And cruise mode, max cruise, alternate we can do if we need to. That's probably not going to be necessary, but we can do 2,000 feet less. And our alternate airport, which I didn't check on my flight plan, let me see, is Echo Bravo Lima Golf, and we can go there at flight level 170. That's in there. Weights. Let's load the aircraft and start the loading. Trim is 1.2 up, and this should, we can set it by clicking here. Let's just do it using that, and we should have that in there, and our performance should be now accurate. 109, 109, 113. There we go. That's what I was missing. So we'll plug in 109 here. How do I get rid of the... Oh, I need to clear this. I know why. And then it should go back to the calculated speed. Now we are okay. Trim wise, our trim is already set because I used the EFP to set it, and I think we can do the checklist now. Parking brake, we know it's set. Altimeters, we didn't set that. What's our METAR information for London? That's the routing. That's the METAR. QNH is 1000. Okay. Our barometric pressure setting should be right here, and we will set this to 1000. With this aircraft, you also have the option to put the synthetic terrain here. That's done through, let me get rid of the yoke. I think it's one of these, not COM, right here. If you turn it on, you'll get this. But I like this look better, so I will keep it on this. So icing 118. We might want to use, what's the outside temperature? We might want to use anti-ice systems during takeoff. 8 degrees. It's below 10, so yeah, maybe we will use the icing conditions, which we can turn on through here. But let's keep going with the checklist, shall we? Altimeters are now set. Landing elevation is set 100 feet. That's the beauty of setting this from the EFP. It also automatically enters the landing elevation. FMS is set. Fuel quantity used, we can reset that. We currently have 1620 kilograms. That's checked. Reset fuel used. That's this button here. One click there. Memo panel, there shouldn't be anything in the memo panel. That can be brought up by this button here. Recall, nothing. And power management is set to take off. Checklist completed. Before propeller rotation is when we disengage the prop brake and start spinning our right engine. CDLS is cockpit door locking system. We can just put it to deny, so now it's locked. FMS takeoff data is confirmed. Let's confirm it one more time. Tail prop should be on board. I decided not to use GSX because it's gonna take too long, but we can use it for deboarding. If you look at here, tail prop is here, main door is closed, cargo door is closed. The problem with ATR and GSX is because both the cargo door and the passenger door is on the left side of the aircraft. GSX first loads the passengers and then the cargo, and it takes awful lot of time. So we'll keep going. Doors are closed. We verified that. Seatbelt signs, we can turn them on now, assuming we have passengers on board. That's completed. And we can turn the beacon light on. We are getting ready. So as you see, the prop brake ready message is also gone again. Solution. 3 clicks to the hydraulic auxiliary pump. And we should have the message displayed. There we go. All right. Let's disengage the prop brake. Let's finish our checklist. And let's monitor the engines. There we go. And the last thing we need to do here is to put the condition lever to auto. We should have the starter selector at start A and B. Yeah, still. Let's turn on the left engine pump. We are not gonna use pushback. We will push ourselves back, and I think we have enough room to turn around here. Yeah, apparently we do. We can do a right turn, and that should be good enough to get us going. Okay. We'll go to the overhead and hit the start button for engine 1. And while we are here, we are monitoring the NH. It's about 12. We'll put the condition lever to idle, and it will start the fuel flow, and the ITT will rise, so we have light off, and engine rotation is increasing. While we are in the green band, we can put the condition lever to auto. I am doing those through my controller, but as you see, both condition levers are in the auto position now. And that should give us a good engine start. An engine should stabilize. We are waiting for that, and then we will just get ready for taxi and be on our way. Alright, let's do the before taxi checklist while we are here. Oh, wrong button. Oh, we did the recall. Nothing should be displayed. But we can do it again. That's here. Nothing. That's checked. Cockpit com hatch is closed. Condition levers 1 and 2 at auto. Anti-icing, I think we are going to need it. So we will turn on the prop anti-ice, and we will put the engine anti-ice on too. I think this should be enough. Yeah, it will kick in. Anti-ice is on. TRU is the transformer rectifier unit. We'll turn it on. TRU is now on. Anti-ice kit test is right here. We can push and do the test. It's performed. Flaps, we will put our flaps to 15 degrees. Now you are seeing the flaps are traveling. And nose wheel steering is engaged by default, but it's under this guard right here. Alright, now we are ready to taxi. We'll put the nose light to taxi. And we don't need the starter selector anymore. We can turn it off. We'll put the pitot heats on. And last thing to do is the transponder. It's a little bit different in this aircraft. We need to go to the nav page. Actually, oh, it's under here. Yep, transponder is now on. We can set a code 1453. Enter, and our transponder is now on, and we are ready to go. All right. we can disengage the parking brake. We can disengage the gust lock. And this should get us going. A little bit of power. Do we have the chocks in place? Yes, that's the last thing I forgot to remove. Now we should be good to go. There we go. Let's make this right turn. Put the standby compass on there too. This is not a great turn though. I hope we don't chop the heads of those guys right there. But we should be able to turn very nicely. Alright, this looks good. We can go back to the ND here, because that's what we want. And looks like we need a little bit more power, because you know the rain in Microsoft Flight Simulator is like glue. Oh, we are talking. Okay. Much better. Much better. While we are taxiing, we'll do the taxi checklist. Taxi and takeoff lights are on. We'll do a brake check here in a little bit. Oops, that's my mistake. I hit the keyboard accidentally, but brakes are working, so that's confirmed. FMA is reading okay. Flight control panel is okay. Takeoff config test is something we haven't done, and it's over here. And this should not give any horns or warnings, and that's the taxi checklist completed. Before takeoff we will keep it there, but we will be holding short because I can't just do this on my own while taxiing and keeping the aircraft on the taxiway while looking at the checklist. So we will hold short and do the checklist when we are at the hold short point of runway 09er. So this exit should be Bravo, and we can use this or the next one, which is Alpha. This should be Bravo. Let's take a look. Yep, this is Bravo, and we will enter the runway via Alpha because we need as much runway as we possibly could to depart properly without any dangers. So we will use this taxiway Alpha to enter runway 09er. It's raining pretty heavy in London. I wasn't expecting rain. I did a test sector, but the weather was at least cloudy but not wet. It looks like between the test flight and the time I sat down to record, things have changed. Okay, we will line up. I want to use most of the runway, so I'm lining up a little bit differently here. And we will use this small section of the runway 2 to help our aircraft get up to the takeoff speed. Alright, so we are on the runway. We didn't hold short, but let's put our landing lights to on, our strobe to on. We'll put the logo lights to on as well. It's dark, we can put the ring lights on as well. So let's take a look. Takeoff briefing is completed, gust lock is off, flight controls we can check. There should be a systems page that displays the flight controls for us. I think it was, well, probably not that one. I can't remember where was the flight controls page, to be honest with you guys, but I remember there. Oh, we can test it through here, right? All right, full back. No, we can't. Oh gosh, I don't remember. Anyway, we'll assume the flight controls are free and correct, okay? Because I don't want to hold you guys here too long. And as I said, it's been a long time since I flew the ATR. So transponder is on. Boost function, we are not gonna need it, hopefully. Airflow is normal. Cabin crew is as advised. Engine bleeds are on. External lights are on, or exterior lights rather. Lateral flight director bar is in the center. And rudder is in the center. There we go. So now we are ready to go. We will sync our heading to the current heading. We will put the nav on. And we'll use vertical speed mode. Or we can do IE, indicate the airspeed. Either one will be fine. And one thing I forgot is I forgot to set the altitude, so let's do that before we depart. A lot of things to remember, obviously, but we are going to set this to 19,000 right from the get-go. $19,000 set, and we are finally ready to go. All right, hold the brakes. Increase the throttles. Let go of the brakes, and we will advance the throttles to notch. And forward pressure on the yoke. Airspeed is alive. It's slippery. All right. Let go of the pressure. Coming up to our rotate speed, and off we go. All right, beautiful. Positive rate. We can retract the gear, and we are dropping the airspeed. So let's drop the nose down. We pitched too high, I guess. We should pick up some speed to retract the flaps, and we should be turning now. So let's do that too. Alright, we are passing 1,000 feet. Speed is looking good. We are turning nicely, maintaining the speed, and we are pitching a little bit too much, so let's bring it down. We passed 1,500 feet, so we can engage the autopilot and bring the flaps up. Now the aircraft should take care of the rest. Why are we dropping? And I don't know what happened there, but we will climb at around, that's too much climb speed for this aircraft. We'll climb at 2000 feet per minute for now. And we can turn off the nose light because the gear is retracted. And we can do the after takeoff checklist. One thing I'm gonna do before we do that is to set the power management to climb. Landing gear is up, flaps are 0, power management is climb, engine bleed is on, taxi takeoff lights are off, altimeters, we will set the altimeters here in a little bit after passing the transition altitude of 6000, but we should be pretty good right now. This is showing the standard. We are climbing nicely, and obviously we are in the soup. Nice. Sync the heading. Passing 5000. Oh, this is nice. Out of the soup just a little bit, and when we are above the clouds we can take care of the anti-ice. Coming up to 6000 feet, transition altitude, going to standard, and waiting to pass 10,000 to turn off our landing lights. We can also put the elapsed time here. But overall, all looking good. Nice. We are climbing nicely. We can come back on the throttles just a little bit to help with the torque. Not too much, not too much. I think around 75%, 78% should be fine. And we can reduce the vertical speed just a tiny bit to 1700 feet per minute. That should help us maintain the speed. So you don't get VNAV during climb, but you do get VNAV during descent in the ATR. So that's how it is. Where's my range button? To increase the PFD range. Do I need to? Oh, I think I needed to click somewhere here, right? What happened? We dropped off of the autopilot. No, it wants more speed. Let's give her more speed and reduce the climb speed just a little bit more until we get to the speed that we need. So that's too much. We'll stay at the notch. And we are out the soup, so we can take care of the prop anti-ice and all the anti-ice systems and clear this. And we can switch to indicated airspeed climb. That should maintain the speed. Nice. Oh, look at that. This is beautiful. At least the aircraft performs and I don't need to worry about the performance. Why is my icing angle of attack is on? Do I have any anti-icing systems on? I don't think so. Interesting. There was a way to reset this, so let me see. Oh, it's gone now automatically. Nice. We passed about 10,000. Obviously I forgot to turn off our landing lights on, and we can release the passengers. And we'll keep going like this. Beautiful view of UK below the clouds down there. And after we make it to the cruise, I think I'm going to cut the video there and bring you guys back when we are getting ready to descend. So far so good. Enjoy the views, and we'll be at our cruising speed, cruising altitude very shortly. Let's go down. Let's keep this in the flight plan page and this FMC in the progress page. Looking good. We'll do the approach performance later. There is nothing to change for the mean wind information. I don't want to mess with that. Approach transition altitude I believe was 7,000, but let me double check that by looking to the chart. Let's see here. Where is the transition altitude? Transition level by ATC. Okay. We will set it to 8,000 just to remind us to switch to the standard. QNH at our destination should be on our EFB. We should have MTR for results, and it's 998, so we can plug it in there. There we go. And we will land with full flaps, and that's our speeds, and we will worry about the winds information later when we get closer. We have the wind information here. 260 at 2 knots is what I'm seeing right now. 260 at 02 knots with 0 gusts, I guess. There it is. Alright, we are almost at our cruise level. Almost. Okay, standard QNH there as well. We are entering the clouds again. It might be a good idea to turn the engine into, well, maybe not. We're managing it, maybe not. We are just barely staying away from the clouds, so no moisture. I think we will keep it like this. 2,000 feet to go to cruise level. Let's sync the heading back one more time. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Some very nasty rain clouds are below us. This side looks a little bit more promising. Beautiful UK down below. This is what I like. At least I don't have to worry about fiddling with the performance and settings, and I can just enjoy flying. That hasn't been the case with, unfortunately, the Phoenix A320. Hopefully I will find a way to enjoy that aircraft too, because I like that aircraft, but the app running on the side is the curse. So 1000 feet to go, that's our altitude warning. And I'm also waiting for the Beyond ATC. I think that's going to be an awesome ATC program as far as the videos goes that I have seen on YouTube. I think it's going to be epic, and they recently slashed the price by 50% for an ATC software that's capable of injecting traffic and controlling the AI traffic as well. So I am curious to see and cannot wait to see that software in action after it releases. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that ATC software. Looking forward to it. There's also another one, Say Intentions ATC, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about waiting for the Beyond ATC. Alright, we are almost at 19,000. And there we go. We are getting to the cruise level. That's 19,000 almost, couple more feet, and we are at our cruise level, and we will put the power management to cruise to save some fuel. The screens are a little bit hard to see from afar, but there we go. We have just a little bit left, 20 feet. And I think we can go to the cruise power setting. Now we are on cruise. We can engage VNAV. And as you see, VNAV IAS is armed now. When we get to top of descent, when we set the altitude, the aircraft should start descending using VNAV and the speeds on our FMC. I think we should have the speeds here, right there. There you go, you see the speeds. I'm not sure what I did there, but I'm not gonna execute. Is it same here? No. You can stay on the performance page. I'm not gonna execute anything. Alright guys, I think we have spent enough time with you here. I'll bring you guys back when we are ready to descend. Welcome back, friends. We are getting close to our top of descent. Roughly around 15 miles, and we have a couple things to do before we can start our descent. First, let's synchronize our heading, select our nav source to ILS-1, and we are going to set up our course. Our final approach course is 249er. We will set that up here. Almost there. 249er, we can go back to FMS1, and we will do the same thing for our co-pilot. I think we need to select the ND manually. Am I not seeing? Oh, there it is. Hit the wrong button. Okay, course is set. We can go to FMS2. And we need to set our radios from our comms page. Let's get rid of the yoke. ILS frequency is 110.35. We will enter that, and that's now our active. And last thing we need to do is we need to select the altitude down to 2000. Hard to see. That's our glide slope altitude. Alright, and then we can select VNAV. When we reach top of descent, the aircraft should start descending on the VNAV path. All we need to do is just cut the throttles just a little bit. Almost there, and we can see the airport in our navigation display. We should see the aircraft descending momentarily. We have a 7,000 and above restriction that I know of that we now should respect, and we are seeing a flight level 30 restriction as well. There we go. We started our descent. Let's cut the throttles to help the aircraft with the speed. And we should be fine like this. Alright, we'll keep descending like this, and I will bring you guys back when we are ready to execute our approach. But before we leave, let's go ahead and do the descent checklist. FWS recall, we can do that. That's here. Nothing. That's checked. Landing elevation is checked. FMS nav performance. So approach transition 8000, QNH is 0998 according to our EFB, if I remember correctly. 998. And then this performance during takeoff was for landing performance. I accidentally said let's say wet, but I'm gonna take wet anyway by thinking it might be a little bit wet still. If it rained, we don't know it for sure. We don't have ATC to tell us, but our approach speed is 109er. We'll go back to the performance. We are going to land to full flaps, approach 109er, and winds at our destination airport, according to the METAR information, is 260 at 2 knots. We will put it into the FMC 260 at 02 knots with 0 gusts. There we go. And this should be the same performance we are seeing here. We'll keep the performance page on the Copilot display, and we are on our way. Descending below 16,000, and I'll bring you guys back when we are close to our approach. Alright friends, we are about to pass below 10,000. Let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. And of course the passenger signs as well. And we are below 10,000, maintaining the speed. And we have the approach checklist to complete. Seatbelt signs are on, landing lights are on, altimeters, we will set the altimeters to the local pressure 0998. That's now set. We can also, well, I think it's synced. Cabin altitude is checked. It's through the bleed air system. I think if we click here, we should see it. One of these show the cabin altitude. Let's go back to our display. That's checked, and that's the approach checklist completed. We will keep the before landing checklist here. And we should maintain our speed. As we are coming to a sharp turn now. And I think we can drop the range to 20 miles or even 10 miles now, just to see a little bit better. Nice. Right, I think we are looking good. We are in the soup again, so I think we made the right call by saying the runway will be wet. Overhead looks okay. And we will just wait for the aircraft to descend. After this turn, we can switch to the heading mode and engage via ILS-1 and eventually the approach mode here. But we have a little bit more time before we can do that. Alright, so far everything is looking good. Coming below 6,600. Speed is also looking good, and we will complete the approach checklist after we capture the localizer. I hope I am remembering everything correctly for the ILS approach in this aircraft. Just checking everything here. Oh, MDA is set through here. I already set to the 250 feet MDA displayed on our chart. You can select between decision height and MDA. We are using MDA. Now we are making the turn. Everything is looking okay. We need to sync the heading after the aircraft aligns with the flight plan path. And that should give us the time to capture the localizer. I think we made that turn a little bit too tight in my opinion. Now we need to circle to the left. That's a little bit off and weird, but it happened. We should keep synchronizing our heading and wait for the aircraft to stabilize on the calculated flight plan path. I don't know why we are doing this left and right though. It's a little bit weird. Look at this. What is this? Did you made your mind yet? We'll put the standby compass on again. Not sure why we are doing this left and rights. Maybe there's some weird stuff going on with the ATR. I think I'm gonna switch to the heading mode because we are losing time to stabilize the aircraft and stay on heading. This should get us to that waypoint. We'll switch to VILS 1 and we will arm the approach because we don't want to be too late. We are still descending nicely. Maybe we should go to the vertical speed node and increase our descent rate just a tiny bit, just to get to the altitude, to be on the safe side. I think now we can decrease the range. All looking good now. Now we will control the vertical speed. 600 feet per minute, 500 feet per minute. I think this should be good to stay above 3000 until we clear that waypoint. It's the 3000. Oh, that's 2000 and above, so we don't have to worry about it. We can go back to 600 feet per minute. Or even more, because we need to get down to 2000. Right, let's not forget to slowly turn the aircraft towards the localizer. Localizer is now captured, looks like. Nice. Speed should eventually come down slowly, but we are now on the localizer. Glide slope diamond is right there. And we are descending to 2000. I'm gonna shallow the descent just a tiny bit. Sync the heading. And we are looking good. We might want to turn off the anti-ice systems because we are in the soup, so at least the engine anti-ice, let's turn them on. I don't remember the flap speeds. Let's see here. $15 is 185, so I think we can go flaps 15 if we slow down just a tiny bit more. We are below the double line, so we should be okay with flaps 15. 7.3 miles to the ILS, so After glide slope capture, we'll do the second notch of flaps and drop our landing gear. Perfect. Right on time, we are ready to capture the glide slope. Glide slope is there. And it should activate and keep us descending, hopefully. Yeah, we are descending. I think we are on glide slope. We can set the missed approach altitude now. Missed approach altitude. Missed approach is 3000. So we will set 3000. And we can drop the landing gear, idle the throttles. That should slow us down, and we can't just get the flaps to the next stage yet, but we need to complete the before landing. Cabin crew is advised, landing gear showing 3 green, flaps we will check, power management will go back to takeoff. TLU low speed is there, lights on. Okay, we missed one item, but I'm not gonna worry about catching that because we need to focus on landing. Let's turn the nose light to landing takeoff. There is the airport. And I think it's time for us to take control and go flaps full. There we go. We are just a little bit high. We'll catch up on the glide slope here in a little bit. Pitch the nose up. We don't want to sink too much. And we should eventually get on back on the glide slope. I'm feeding just a little bit throttle.
200. Approaching minimum.
Alright. Now we can idle.
100.
Nice.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Alright.
10.
Reverse engaged. And maintain the center line. There we go, and we can just exit through this high-speed exit and clean the aircraft up, bringing the flaps up. Nice. Runway is now vacated, and we will stop here to clean the aircraft up because I don't want to do it while taxiing. Alright. First things first, we need to go on our transponder back to TA array. Where was it? There was that screen. I think it's easier to do it this way. Transponder back to standby. Weather radar can come off now. Landing lights can also come off. Taxi light will stay on. We can turn off the strobe. We can turn off the anti-ice and the probe heats now. Yeah, we know that. And I think we can use our wipers just a little bit. And let's find ourselves a parking spot. Alright, let's keep going like this. We will cross runway 19er and find ourselves a spot to park the aircraft. Well, the wipers are not doing any good, are they? They are not clearing the water, so I'm gonna turn them off. It's just useless. We will enjoy the raindrops on the windscreen or windshield. Let's check that item too. After landing checklist, we need to do this. Radar is off, flight controls, we can lock them. Trims reset, strobes are off, de-icing off, probes are off, TRU we will turn off. And we can focus on taxiing now. This is gonna be a long taxi by the looks of it. We can go just a little bit faster. This is enough and better. We don't want to spend too much time on the ground here. Well, welcome to Brussels. Weather looks crap, and I'm glad we selected wet option for the landing performance calculation. But we will go to the south 2 apron and park over there. Right, we started to see some taxi lights on the ground. Marker lights rather. And seeing some big boys in the distance right over there. I'm gonna keep an eye on the ground speed, but maybe the zoom in just a little bit, because rain makes it very hard to see. We are coming up to a runway that we need to cross, and we need to take that left turn. Where should we park is my question. I don't know exact terminals and which ones are used for smaller aircraft like the ATR, but we will not worry about that. We'll just take this left. And find ourselves a spot somewhere over there. There's a Turkish Airlines, looks like a A350 or 777. There's an Air Canada, looks like this is the big boys league. And we might not find a suitable spot over here. We might just turn around and circle just a little bit to find a better parking spot for the size of the aircraft we have right now, because apparently these are all the big boys. I see some smaller aircraft over there, so I think we are going to go over there and park there, because I don't want to keep you guys waiting unnecessarily just because we are not able to find a parking spot. Yep, there are some smaller ones right here, so we will find a spot in between those and we will park there. Do we have room? after that EasyJet. Looks like we don't have another aircraft there, so we might be able to park right next to the EasyJet right there. Or even right here I can also park. That's, I guess, what I'm gonna do. Let's turn off the taxi light. We don't wanna blind anyone. There's an aircraft there. I guess we need to aim for that gate. Did not see that one. Can we park there? Yeah, we can. This is the line. So I was a little bit impatient, I guess, to find a spot. But we will just take this. Nice. We are probably not going to use the jetway, but we will park our aircraft somewhere here. I suck at stopping at the right distance, but for this size and this big of a gate, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I kind of feel like I am not at the right type of gate according to our aircraft. This is still a big boy gate, but we will not worry about that too much. And we will just stop here, put the parking brake on, and let's go back and check after at least 2 meets condition lever 1 FTR and fuel shut off. Well, let's do that, but we will also need the prop brake. So let's put the condition lever 2 from auto to and engage the prop brake, and that should stop the propeller but still maintain the power. And what we can do is we can turn off our right engine. Condition lever to there, and then shut off. That should be it. Parking brake engaged, taxi takeoff lights off, condition lever 2 is at feather, beacon. We can turn the beacon off now. Off. Transponder is already at standby. Tail prop and seat belts. And we can also open our door and the cargo door. We can turn off the seat belt signs. And I think while we are doing this, let's finish that checklist. All right. I'm gonna call deboarding. And we will wrap up the video.
Engines to request ground services.
Oh yeah, of course. I guess we need to stop the right engine too, which is fine. There we go. But we can request ground power at least. Now we can request deboarding.
Deboarding requested.
Alright friends, I guess this is it. We came. What are those wheels doing? I'm not sure. But finally, we are here at Brussels. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. While you are there, please also consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps a lot, and I'm trying my hardest to keep videos coming despite the busy schedule I have in my personal life.